Sobat investor, berikut ini adalah beberapa tips yang bisa kalian coba untuk mencapai financial freedom. Yang pertama, pahami kondisi finansial. Kalian harus paham berapa jumlah pendapatan dan berapa jumlah pengeluaran. Yang kedua adalah tentukan tujuan keuangan agar kedepannya kalian lebih mudah untuk menyusun strategi untuk mencapai tujuan keuangan tersebut. Ketiga, carilah sumber pendapatan yang lain. Biarlah pendapatan dari aset itu bisa menutupi pengeluaran utama atau pengeluaran pokok kalian. Yang keempat adalah investasi. Kalau Anda menyimpan uang di bank, nilainya akan terus tergerus. Tetapi kalau berinvestasi, nilainya akan terus bertambah. Yang kelima dan yang terakhir adalah lunasi segala hutang. Bila Anda memiliki tagihan ataupun hutang, segeralah melakukan pelunasan kapanpun Anda memiliki uang yang cukup. Itulah beberapa tips untuk mencapai financial freedom. Bagaimana dengan Anda, Sobat Investor?
Dengan informasi terkini yang kami kemas dalam berita teraktual dan berkualitas.
Memberikan berbagai macam kebutuhan informasi.
Memberikan informasi ekonomi dan bisnis Indonesia juga mancanegara.
Merupakan hal penting dalam mendukung keputusan investasi Anda.
Saksikan program-program ekonomi dan bisnis terkini langsung dari sumbernya.
Reopens for 19 countries, including Indonesia. Hello, good evening viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business, economic, and capital market sector. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. Please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands, and having less mobility. And with me, Fajar Wayong, this is Market Headlines. Let's start market headlines. Export-driven economic growth is certain to be even stronger next year. The Coordinating Ministry for the Economy views that this situation will encourage faster economic recovery and can grow above 5.5% next year.
Economic growth has been helped by a surge in export in recent months. Secretary of the Coordinating Ministry for the Economy, Susi Wibowo explained that in 2021, the economy is estimated to grow more than 4%. He explained that the export in the fourth quarter will be able to contribute greatly to economic growth, which is estimated to grow more than 5%. Not only that, the government is only confident that the positive impact of export will be able to boost the economy next year.
Ekspor ini mengulang cerita bahwa untuk kesekian kalinya 18 bulan berturut-turut kita surplus dan surplusnya makin besar. Dan ini super cycle untuk harga komoditas tinggi ini masih akan berlanjut. Mudah-mudahan ini jadi blessing untuk ekonomi kita semuanya sehingga di 2022 kita lebih optimis. Kemarin Pak Menko menyampaikan perkiraan awal kita di 5,2, mungkin bisa sampai ke 5,5%.
The Central Bureau of Statistics previously recorded a trade surplus of $5.73 billion. This achievement was followed by record export, which reached $22 billion. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
The Minister of Manpower ensured that the average increase in the 2022 province minimum wage nationally was 1.09%. This provision is in accordance with the applicable formula in Government Regulation Number 36 of 2021 concerning wages. However, the determination of the minimum wage for each province still needs to wait for the results of the determination from the governor. The minister gave the governor time to determine and announce the minimum wage no later than November 20, 2021, and the district or city minimum wage no later than November 30, 2021. She also emphasized that the calculation of the minimum wage next year is deliberately adjusting the new rules, one of which is by referring to the median wage because this is an internationally accepted standard.
yang terlalu tinggi, saya kira teman-teman tahu ini menyebabkan sebagian besar pengusaha kita tidak mampu menjangkaunya dan akan berdampak negatif terhadap implementasi di lapangan. Simulasi berdasarkan data dari BPS, rata-rata kenaikan upah minimum itu 1,09. Ini rata-rata nasional. Tentu sekali lagi kita tunggu para gubernur, data dari BPS sudah kami sampaikan kepada para gubernur, nanti pada saatnya gubernur akan menetapkan. Gubernur harus menetapkan UMP paling lambat tanggal 21 November tahun 2021.
The government has confirmed that it will encourage negotiations with the Saudi Arabian government to accommodate the process of reopening Umrah permits for Indonesian pilgrims next year. Moreover, the government is considering the provision of booster vaccines for the purpose of Umrah and Hajj requirements.
The government has confirmed that it will support the implementation of the easing of Hajj and Umrah trips, which will begin to open next year. This was conveyed by the Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Erlangga Hartarto, after receiving an audience with the Hajj and Umrah associations. Coordinating Minister for Economy Erlangga said that currently the Saudi Arabian government has granted Umrah permits for Indonesian pilgrims, but the Saudi Arabian government requires all Indonesian Umrah pilgrims to get a booster vaccine first.
Dan mereka menambah pengakuan, yaitu Sinovac dan Sinopharm. Namun untuk Sinovac mereka kemarin masih meminta adanya booster dan Indonesia saat sekarang belum memberikan perizinan untuk booster ketiga kecuali nakes karena masyarakat masih punya target pemerintah di akhir Desember 70% untuk dosis pertama dan 40% dosis kedua, sehingga booster ini baru dipersiapkan programnya di bulan Januari nanti.
The government will also discuss internally the complaints of the Hajj and Umrah associations regarding the tax relief that is still needed. In addition, it is hoped that the return of the placement of Hajj funds from the Hajj Financial Management Agency will be able to help the business continuity of the Hajj Travel Bureau. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
And moving on to global updates, Xi Jinping has used a virtual summit with U.S. counterpart Joe Biden to warn that encouraging Taiwanese independence will be playing with fire. Meanwhile, Google has announced that it will invest a $740 million in Australia over the next 5 years. More stories on today's International Minute.
Hong Kong-based airline Cathay Pacific is imposing tough new restrictions on its air crews as it tries to stop the spread of COVID-19. Those returning to the city from layovers abroad have been told to remain at home and avoid unnecessary social contact for a total of 21 days. Last month, Hong Kong tightened its COVID-19 rules, which are already some of the strictest in the world. Chinese President Xi Jinping has used a virtual summit with U.S. counterpart Joe Biden to warn that encouraging Taiwanese independence would be playing with fire. The talks are the most substantial since Biden took office in January. Both sides emphasized the two men's personal relationship, and the summit was an attempt to ease tensions. Google has announced that it will invest a $740 million in Australia over the next 5 years. It is the US technology giant's largest investment in the country to date. Google says the money will be used to build a research hub, increase its cloud computing capacity, and fund partnership with local organizations. The move, named the Digital Future Initiative, is expected to directly create 6,000 jobs and support 28,000 overall. Germany's energy regulator has suspended the approval process for the controversial Nord Stream 2 natural gas pipeline from Russia to Germany. It said the pipeline's operating company needed to be compliant with German law before it would certify the €10 billion project. The decision sent UK and mainland Europe wholesale gas prices already under pressure to 3-week highs. IDX Channel reports.
And market headlines will be back. Stay tuned with us.
Sebanyak 7 bank telah menyetujui restrukturisasi kredit PT Waskita Karya Persero Tbk dengan outstanding sebesar 21,9 triliun rupiah.
Pemirsa, Bursa Efek Indonesia mencatat saat ini terdapat 12 emiten yang berencana melakukan buyback saham.
Pertimbangan dengan 4 rekomendasi saham ini, Pak Rofandi, mungkin untuk Akra terlebih dahulu, Pak.
2 hari ini mungkin dia akan berkonsolidasi dan akan terjadi rebound.
Menyampaikan informasi terkini seputar ekonomi dan bisnis dari dalam negeri. Saksikan News Screen setiap Senin sampai dengan Jumat pukul 14.30 waktu Indonesia Barat hanya di IDX Channel. Inspirasinya dari mana? Bisa yakin gitu untuk kita membentuk Home Care 24.
Karena satu panggilan jiwa ya, di Indonesia belum ada menggeluti dunia bisnis health tech.
Jangan cuma ngelihat langit, tapi juga ingat bahwa kaki kita tuh masih di tanah gitu. Jangan cuma lihat cuan, tapi ingat masih ada risiko kerugian.
Apa yang bisa pelajari dari rugi? Karena kan pasti ada momen di mana seorang investor itu dia rugi, portofolionya itu merah.
Nomor 1 banget yang paling penting disadari oleh pemula yaitu manajemen resiko. Investasi itu bukan untuk memenuhi kebutuhan hidup, harus tetap kerja. Trading untuk membantu kita mencapai tujuan hidup.
Jadi PT Paragon itu kan memang masih sebuah private company, jadi
tetap ada responsibility, saya setuju tadi.
Mendevelop tim, ya kan, what can I help you, empower gitu kan, gimana supaya prosesnya lebih efektif,
lebih bisa berkembang lagi, pushnya.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. Google Indonesia predicts that the country's digital economy by 2025 will be worth $146 billion. The projection is higher in line with the acceleration of digital adaptation by the business sector.
Google Indonesia predicts that the country's digital economy by 2025 will be worth $146 billion. The projection value is revised higher in line with the accelerations of digital adaptation by the business sector. Google Indonesia's Government Affairs and Public Policy Dani Ardianto explained, the projection is noted in the research on the digital economy in Southeast Asia in the tandem with Temasek. Dani said that Indonesia's digital economy in 2021 to date reached $70 billion, up by 49% year-on-year from the previous year's value of $47 billion. According to him, there are no many industrial sectors adopting technology to develop their business. This year's rapid growth of digital adaptation drove Google to revise the projections in the next 4 years. The COVID-19 pandemic is considered to boost its acceleration. Dani also acknowledged that many traditional industries such as education and finance are increasingly adopting digital technology in developing business. IDX Channel reports.
Ambassador of Indonesia to Singapore, Suryo Pratomo, stated that Singapore had reopened its doors to foreigners from 19 countries with low COVID-19 cases, including Indonesia. Suryo Pratomo noted that the Singaporean government was gradually opening its borders to people from countries with low case of COVID-19, starting from Brunei Darussalam to Germany. It is currently limited at 19 countries, including Indonesia. Indonesian people are considered to have a low likelihood of transmitting COVID-19 to Singaporean residents, given the declining cases since the last month. Suryo Pratomo noted that Singapore is strict in allowing people to enter its territory. Every foreigner who enters must have been vaccinated. Foreigners are required to take a direct flight to Singapore, so no transit stops during the way. The aircraft is allowed to only carry crew and passengers that have been vaccinated.
Brunei dan Jerman. Mengapa Brunei dan Jerman? Karena nomor satu, Brunei itu relatif kasusnya sangat rendah. Kemudian jumlah penduduk sedikit, vaksinasinya tinggi. Negaranya cukup mampu untuk memberi vaksin dan memvaksin seluruh warganya. Jerman itu contoh negara yang memang di Eropa paling disiplin. Karena itu kemudian mereka melihat sebagai prototipe model adalah Jerman. Nah, dan penularan atau orang yang kemudian membawa COVID itu boleh dikatakan sangat rendah. Jadi itu yang membuat Singapura memperbesar menjadi 14 negara dan sekarang mulai November nanti menjadi 19 negara. Tentu dengan pembatasan.
Presiden Joko Widodo stated that 252 public service agencies in Indonesia had contributed non-tax state revenues of 96 trillion rupiah until the end of October 2021.
President Joko Widodo stated that 252 public service agencies in Indonesia had contributed non-tax state revenues of 96 trillion rupiah to the state until the end of October 2021. These contributions came from various BLU sectors ranging from health, education, and area manager.
Dengan total 252 BLU, jumlah yang sangat besar, yang berada di 21 kementerian dan lembaga dengan aset kelolaan sebesar 888 triliun rupiah dan total pendapatan 96 triliun rupiah.
Jokowi hopes that the contributions of public service agencies to the state will not only be large in terms of income figures, but also in terms of national economic recovery. In addition, public service agencies also contribute to accelerating the structural reforms being carried out by the government. This is because the public service agency is the spearhead of providing services from the state to the community. In the health sector, for example, the head of state hopes that the quality of professional BLU services can be more evenly distributed to people in various parts of the country. IDX Channel reports.
The COVID-19 Handling Task Force has affirmed that the Indonesian government has continued to strengthen surveillance in a bid to anticipate coronavirus infections. In 126 districts and cities, an increase in COVID-19 cases has been detected and based on Health Ministry data. In principle, COVID-19 data were collected from the same source, namely data from regions, and processed according to the needs of each ministry and agency for specific decision-making. The finding of case increases in 126 districts and cities is based on epidemiological investigations from local health offices. Earlier, Health Minister Budi Gunadi Sadikin had linked the increase in COVID-19 cases in the past 3 weeks to face-to-face learning in schools and condolence visits.
COVID-19 di Indonesia terus mengalami penurunan, adanya lonjakan kasus di beberapa negara yang terus bertambah saat ini harus menjadi perhatian agar kita tidak lengah. Sayangnya laju vaksinasi mengalami penurunan selama 7 minggu terakhir. Penurunan ini utamanya terjadi pada vaksin merek Sinovac yang ternyata juga tidak dibarengi dengan peningkatan vaksinasi pada vaksin merek lainnya. Kita perlu kembali mengencangkan pengendalian agar kita dapat mencegah gelombang kasus baru di tahun depan.
And stay with us because market headlines will be back with informations from the capital market.
Ini kan digital ini kan untuk masa depan. Kalau kembali ke masa lalu, jadinya Digimon dong.
Sekarang apa-apa serba digital dong. Ya. Baca koran
digital,
ya kan? Baca buku
digital.
Nanti baca pikiran juga digital, bro. Apa-apa sekarang mau transportasi online harus peduli lindungi, masuk museum peduli lindungi.
Betul.
Nanti masuk rumah mertua kata dia kemarin.
Oh iya benar. Juga perlu. Itu juga penting. Pentingnya menjaga kesehatan calon mantu.
Ya halo pemirsa, nama saya Mangivera Tjong. Saat ini saya menjabat sebagai presenter dan juga associate producer. Saat ini saya membawakan program IDX Conversation Closing, di mana di program tersebut saya menganalisa isu-isu ekonomi yang menarik, baik dari luar negeri maupun juga dari dalam negeri. Tentunya hingga saat ini saya masih terus belajar dan saya sangat menikmati profesi tersebut. Jadi sebenarnya Utama Spice ini apa sih dan kapan mulai didirikan?
Utama Spice itu bergerak di bidang produksi, khususnya untuk memproduksi perawatan kulit sama home goods yang 100% alami. Untuk berdirinya sih dimulai dari ibu saya tahun 1989. Niatnya tidak membuat perusahaan, tapi untuk hobinya sendiri karena dia sangat hobi dengan tanaman alami.
Para petinggi negara anggota G20 sepakat untuk mengurangi pemanasan global hingga 1,5 derajat Celcius.
Kita bisa target kita maju, tetapi dengan bantuan teknologi dan investasi dari internasional.
Kementerian Keuangan menilai pemulihan ekonomi akibat pandemi COVID-19 belum berjalan secara merata di seluruh.
Pemulihan ekonomi global tidak merata.
Welcome back. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today, JCI was open off the level 6,671.8 and then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 6,660.454 and then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,675.8 and in short, Jakarta Composite Index or JCI went up 0.37%. And let's see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got industry went up 1.51%, transportation and logistics went up 1.4%, non-cyclic went down 0.45%, and basic sector went down 0.44%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers. From top gainers, BBCA went up 1.34% to the level of 7,575 rupiah per share. CPRO went up 22.5% to the level of 98 rupiah. BBKP went up 18.06% to the level of 366 rupiah per share, and BABP went up 3.64% to the level of 228 rupiah. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, MDKA went down 0.57% to the level of 3,480 rupiah per share. BBYB went down 0.97% to the level of 2,040 rupiah per share. Arto went down 0.16% to the level of 15,800 rupiah. And Telkom went down 1.0809% to the level of 3,630 rupiah per share. And we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,244. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trend towards US dollar and was closed at the level of 14,236. And in summary, rupiah went up 0.06%. In efforts to reduce net loss, Mandam Indonesia is increasing the penetration of local and export market products through digital channels.
Mandem Indonesia seeks to reduce net losses by increasing the penetrations of local and export market products through digital channels. In addition, the company has prepared several new products in accordance with current conditions. Deputy President Director of Mandem Indonesia, Effendi Tandi explained, in order to survive in the midst of pandemic, the company decided to rearrange various policies and strategies. One of them is by strengthening internal human resources and also increasing the speed of development and expanding the penetrations of new and old products in the market. Effendi added that the decline in sales performance was the first time experienced by the company. Based on the data, in the first half of 2021, Mandem posted a sales decline of 15.1% compared to the same period last year. The decline was mainly influenced by market conditions that have not fully recovered, as well as the existence of social restrictions in various regions. On the other hand, the decrease in revenue was also caused by increase in raw materials prices. IDX Channel reports.
Bank Tabungan Negara would increase the distribution of housing finance in 2022. At least the company targets the distribution of 200,000 mortgages.
Bank Tabungan Negara said it would increase the distributions of housing finance, both subsidized and non-subsidized, next year. At least the company targets the distributions of 200,000 mortgages. Herwandi Gafar, Director of Consumer and Commercial Lending at BTN, explained that approximately 195,000 subsidized mortgage units will be funded in 2022. This funding will be through various schemes such as subsidized mortgage, FLPP or Housing Financing Liquidity Facility, BP Tapera or People's Housing Savings Management Agency, and Saving-Based Housing Financing Assistance. Until March 2021, BTN recorded that the total mortgage distributions reached 211.85 trillion rupiah. This figure rose 7.81% when compared to the same period in the previous year. As for the details, subsidized mortgage contributed 129.98 trillion rupiah and non-subsidized mortgage reached 81.88 trillion rupiah. IDX Channel reports.
And market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here it is an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. And the news closed our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. And to prevent the spread of COVID-19, always wear a mask and get vaccinated immediately. Masks have been shown to reduce the risk of transmission by 80%, while vaccines minimize the risk of death by 73%. So let's wear a mask and get vaccinated, because masks and vaccines keep us healthy and happy. And I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.